Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're watching the Locker Gnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of geek news, product views, and answers that you can use, like an answer to the question, what's going to happen over the course of this broadcast? And I can't really answer that fully, but I can tell you this. I'm home alone with the dogs, and Diana had scheduled some maintenance to happen during the time of this live broadcast, which means at some point the doorbell may ring. I'll run out, take care of that, and come back as soon as I possibly can. So do not be surprised if I disappear for a little while during the video. Just entertain yourself for that moment in time. Thank you to the 777 patrons as of right now, today, May 1st, 2014. Without these people, I probably wouldn't be able to do this for everybody. Not just this, but the other things that I do for you as the general community, trying to do better, be a better self for you, and in that process, expand the team so that I don't have to worry about answering the door in the middle of a live broadcast. That's the hope. By the way, this is the first of a month, which means your patronage should have processed, and if it has not processed, it should within the next day, or you basically have a day before I have to go in and clean up and contact people and say, what happened? You said you were going to be a patron and it didn't come through. So this number within the next couple of days may very well drop. It did the last time, and you can't look at the number on the Patreon website, which is where chrispirillo.com redirects you to, because it's not an accurate number. That's the amount of alleged pledges and alleged patrons. So I've got to clean them out like once a month. And then, of course, be transparent with the report. Patreon makes one number public, but what you didn't realize is that we came in about 25% shy of our last month goal. I hope to God we've decreased that amount so that most, if not all, of our pledges are true, all of our patrons are true, and it's only because I care. And I if you can't handle it, you just contact me. We'll figure something out, or just don't be a patron if you can't handle it. That's really what it boils down to. So thank you for your honesty. Thank you for supporting me in every way that you possibly can, including when I sip some of this Jawa juice. Star Wars Week continues on LockerGnome.com, and this is something that I know it's like Star Wars Week every week on LockerGnome.com, but every week we have a different theme. This week just so happens to be something, or everything that we're doing, most everything, is going to be related to Star Wars as a theme, a general theme. So you see we've got an R2-D2 bottle stopper right there. You can get Carrie Fisher's autograph on a Princess Leia photo. This one was popular in social today. It's an R2-D2 popcorn bucket. Suppose you could put anything in there if you wanted to. And then a towering Darth Vader made of cardboard. A is for Akbar. Oh, I'll be getting into some more Star Wars kid stuff today, too. Look at that. Calm you shall keep and carry on you must. This was also very popular in our social feeds. And there's Diana, pretty much around the time that she watched Star Wars for the first time. I've been thinking about doing a subscription service. I mean, beyond Patreon. I mean, that's really largely for content. But thinking about doing like a monthly mailer service, and I've toyed around, so to speak, with action figures. And then I realized today that some of our most popular social shares are mugs. So what if you guys got new mugs every month? New fun, geeky mugs, maybe? I don't know. Punny mugs? Mugs. I don't know, I'd enjoy that, because I enjoy a good mug. And a good cup, but that's just because I like drinking things. Alright, so, I'm also going to tell you that we've got a Name Your Own Price bundle for Mac users out there. If you happen to use OS X and a Mac, you would probably need software, apart from what comes with the system. You can name your own price for a massive bundle and save a ton of money on good software that you probably didn't realize existed. And I hate to say this, but there's probably more software available for the Mac today than there is Windows, at least Windows 8, in the app stores. Just saying. That's an outmoded argument that some people still want to continue to use for some strange reason. Brian Roberts asks, Chris, you are worth, or he didn't really ask this, he said it, I'm worth a pizza a month. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you saying that. And hey, look at it this way. If you can support and be a patron of mine, be it a patron, whatever level, $2 on up. If you're, let's say, at the patron level, like $10, that's like the price of a pizza. And so I'm effectively helping you lose weight. If you become a patron and spend your patronage $10 on me, I'm helping you not eat those calories. So if you think about it, it's good for your health. Which I realize is a very bizarre argument to make, but thank you, Brian, for that compliment. I've answered 5 different questions from the community. Everybody out there, you can ask me a question, chris@pirillo.com if you want. I answered these on my blog at chris.pirillo.com. By the way, the links for all this stuff are in the video's description. Would you relive your life? How did you choose your home office? What do you do with old gadgets? How can you overcome a phobia? How can scouting impact your life? All of those questions are answered by me on my blog. I don't want to, go into them here because you could read them, and they don't take that long. They're really short posts, easy to digest. Not unlike the question or the "What would you do?" question. I'm going to record a video for later today in about an hour's time, exclusive to patrons. People have asked, "Oh, wait a minute, I didn't clear out yesterday's What Would You Do?" Today's What Would You Do is what would you do if you were a musician? So I will tell you what I would do if I was a musician. I'll be recording that video after this broadcast, assuming that my internet connection still works, because you never know. Stuff can stop at a moment's notice, although it usually doesn't. From patron John Whitaker, he notes a little trivia tidbit. Today marks the day in 1840 that the penny black, the first official adhesive postage stamp, is issued in the UK. So there we go. The first postage stamp. I used to collect stamps. What was it? Philatidity? Falabidid. I collected stamps. That's all I can remember. I don't know. I think, I remember seeing a stamp and thinking it was neat, and my mom came home with kind of it was a starter kit for collecting stamps, and that was kind of neat. How you could, collect these things and then put them in a book and everything. There were so many stamps. And I kind of got into it because there was really nothing else that interesting to collect when I was a kid, and they were relatively affordable. I remember the little hinges things that you'd have to lick one side and then lick the other so that you didn't lick the stamp, and oh wow, that really takes me back. I forgot I collected stamps. So, thank you. Oh, Brian Roberts reminds me, $25. That apparently is Brian Roberts' patron level. And by the way, if you just joined as a patron and your patronage just doesn't clear, we will communicate back and forth. You can email me with a special address that I give to patrons. And if you want your name in TLDR, which I'll show the patron credits in a bit, you can let me know as well. The death of Wolverine is coming, Marvel has announced. So, sorry if you happen to be a Wolverine fan. I like Wolverine. I love the movies. I don't know if I've been disappointed with any Wolverine movie that's been released. I know some people were. I don't know. I am wearing a Star Wars hoodie, though, in case you're wondering. Stormtrooper. I could zip it up, but it gets caught up in my glasses. I gotta be careful. See, okay, just imagine this gets zipped all the way. There you go. You can buy your own. Shop.lockergnome.com. Vine has redesigned. Vine.co. And I don't use Vine all that often because I tend to talk a lot, which is really bad for 6-second videos. But Vine is great for budding comedians. So many funny producers out there creating really, really freaking creative Vines. I don't know how the hell you storyboard a 6-second video, but the top users, it doesn't surprise me why they are top users. Insane. Okay, so this is the big news for the day. I mean, yes, beyond Star Wars stuff, and I got some products that I'm going to be showing you too. It turns out, according to a teardown, Google Glass components add up to about $80. So the parts in Google Glass worth $80. I do not. And this is a teardown. These are people who know what they're doing with this stuff. They know how much this stuff costs. I'm not trying to say that Google's not worth anything. I mean, it's worth something. But the price for the parts worth $80. So I do not want to hear, for the rest of your life, another complaint ever that Apple is overpriced, especially if you happen to be a fan of Android. Because those Android fans are all like, Apple's overpriced, get an Android, open source. $80 Google Glass costs. like the product itself, like the hardware. So what's the other $1,400 for then? Wow, that's kind of pricey. Google Glass. It's not worth $80, but that's how much the parts cost. Wow. As I said, links in this video description. They've got the proof laying in front of them. The first Star Wars Journeys interactive app is now available for like $6 or $7. I expect it to be available for you to download with a comp code by way of go.tagjag.com/free points if you haven't already. I downloaded it and obviously installed it because I downloaded it. They plan on releasing one Journeys app for each of the existing films as well as each of the new films. And they say they're working on the Attack of the Clones app next. Journeys is kind of like a mix between... it's kind of an interactive app for the movie, for each one of the Star Wars movies. And according to what I saw, this app for around the Phantom Menace is... Oh, I better be careful. Mute. Okay. Whew. I am not licensed to rebroadcast any of the music in this particular app. But yes, look, pod racing. That was one of my favorite parts of the first movie. I loved... playing a pod racer game on the PC back in the day as well. All right, let's go. Let's play Anakin, sure. Okay, how do I start this thing? Equipped, yes. Start. Go. Anakin, yeah, okay, go, yeah, okay. How does it turn? How does it work? I know not my liege. Here we go. Let's try that one. There we go, race. Quick race. Track 1. Race difficulty, easy. You're seeing a live play with me, so let's play. Oh, okay, so it shows me the racing controls. I'll try to figure this out. Ooh, wow! Better graphics than I had in the PC back in the day. Oh, yeah. All right, it'll work. It's fluid. It's fluid. Wow, okay. I think I'm beating well, not exactly everybody, but I'm following the leader here. Or trying to. Whoa, in between the rocks. Boom! Okay, I better get back. Okay, I'm playing a game. I'll stop playing the game. I don't know if it's worth the money yet, but I like Star Wars, so it's worth the money. Check it out, Journeys. I've got the link for you in this video's description that I know of. It's only iOS at this point in time. Now, if you like playing games on iOS or Android, you may be interested in possibly streaming those games or gameplay to a service and recording the gameplay and specifically recording it into a video. There is an API for developers called Camcord, not spelled like the old classic camcorder that we used to use. I used to use these old VHS camcorder gigantic things to film. Well, there's an API available for devs. And so it's possible that your favorite devs will be baking in the ability for you to record gameplay on iOS and Android seamlessly. So I know I don't have a huge developer audience watching TLDR, but it's something to keep in mind. If you really like a game and you want to record it, tell your favorite developers about this API. Amazon now has same-day delivery in some cities, including Seattle. Some items are available $6 for Prime per delivery, but if you're not a Amazon Prime member, you just pay more. But you can get same day. So I go and search for something, and it'll tell me, hey, you can get the same day in Seattle. And you pay $6 to get it same day. To me, it might be worth it. Like, if I really, really genuinely want something, and I know it's available and I can't get it anywhere else, I might be willing to pay $6 for that premium to get it that day. Some things are worth it. Other things, not as much. So, for example, this Darth Vader bobblehead monitor topper thing that Mackenzie, hello Mackenzie, sent, I might be able to get this within a day. I already have it though, so I wouldn't necessarily need it. Or this book also sent by Mackenzie, Good Night iPad. This is assumedly for me to read to Baby Perillo when Baby Perillo is here. I'll do some reading for you two here. In the bright buzzing room, there was an iPad and a kid playing Doom, and a screensaver of I'm not gonna spoil it. You haven't read the book. You're just gonna have to get the book to learn what happens with Goodnight iPad. I don't know. Mackenzie also sent me this, Vader's Little Princess. Is Baby Perillo going to be a girl or a boy? We don't know yet. So Mackenzie covered both sexes. Thank you very much. Vader's Little Princess or Darth Vader and Son. Also, very creative books, very, very true to my heart. And given that I've never been a parent before, Mackenzie also sent safe baby handling tips. Now, this is actually a pretty good lesson. This is kind of a PSA. You can even get the wheel of responsibility, deciding who does what, mom or dad. And so far, every time I spin it, dad gets the responsibility. I'm not very happy about that. I learned something. Before reading this book, I honestly, truly believed that you could pick up the baby like this. I pick up my Darth Vader figures like this all the time. You cannot, and I didn't know this, you cannot do that with a baby. This book outlines that, and as well as with nursing. I am not lactating. I thought that once the baby was born, then my glands would kick in, but that's not the case. Diana can nurse. That's okay. But for me, not so much. That's why the big no and a warning sign. Shows me how to do the bottle testing. Shows me how and what I can feed the baby. The baby does not get turkey legs, which is kind of disappointing because we just bought them in bulk. Hopefully they can take them back. How to contain a baby, even? Really? Right there? We were just going to use Wicket and Pixie's cage, but that's a no-no. I don't know why. I mean, I lived in a cage when I was a kid. I don't know why it's different. How to carry a child. How to buckle the baby up. How to walk with the baby. It's very, very helpful. I'm very, very, very appreciative of this book. I will be committing these lessons to memory. Thank you, Mackenzie. Let me go ahead and scroll through the list of patrons to give them credit. If you want your name in here in every TLDR moving forward, you can. Just become a patron at chrisperillo.com. It'll redirect you to the proper place, and we'll all be good to go. Patron John Whitaker sent a link to, this was actually kind of interesting, Andy Warhol, an artist, no longer with us, had a chance to play with digital tools back in the day, and it's now been discovered that he had some lost art on floppies, digital art on floppies, and it's been recovered. So if you're a fan of Warhol, you should know that Andy Warhol had some digital stuff. These are obviously not originals, but if you want, you can take a look at the link in the video's description. There's an example, very Warhol-esque. That's about as good as I could get, in making digital art too, so I don't feel so bad. I'm as skilled as Andy Warhol when it comes to that crap. Now, he's far more skilled than me as an artist, and the world, it's a worse place. When we lose any kind of artist, I think the world becomes a worse place. Next, this is a big one, I thought. Microsoft came out with the other week and said, we're not going to support XP anymore. No more support for XP. Which, has a few people upset. And they said, no more support, right? And usually when Microsoft says no more support, they mean it, except for this time. What? Yes, Microsoft released a patch. So they supported XP even though they said they wouldn't. I think that was a mistake. Now, I'm not saying that if you use XP and you got this patch, it's a problem. It's a mistake because now who's going to trust Microsoft when they say, okay, no, for real this time. No. Do not cross this line. No. And then they cross, no, okay, do not cross this line. Okay, do not cross this line. Okay, do not cross this line. Okay, do not cross this. When does it end? Microsoft, you said you weren't going to support it anymore, so stop supporting it. And do as the Perillo says you should do. If I look into my screen, I predict a future where it would be wise for you to split out Windows XP into its own company, if only for support. I'm just saying. They lied. And I think they did the right thing by issuing a patch, but they did the wrong thing. And I think they did more the wrong thing than the right thing. That guy commenting on YouTube notes that we don't know the sex of baby Perillo yet. No, we know the sex. You don't know yet. When we reach 1,000 patrons, we'll give the patrons the opportunity to know the sex, as well as letting other people possibly know the sex. If the patrons decide, it's in their hands, really. It's in their future. I'm going to go ahead and kick in the screensaver, which one person emailed me about and said it was annoying. What do you guys think? Keep this kind of screensaver or not? Do you want me to go back to the boring one up there or more exciting one over here so that when I get boring, this can entertain you? By the way, the doorbell hasn't rung yet. You guys haven't heard it, have you? Maybe they're late, or maybe I was wrong. Either it wouldn't be the first time that I was wrong, that's for sure. From thebrickfan.com, Alan Tran, who's a longtime community supporter, he runs a Lego-driven website. He notes that there's an image of one of the upcoming, I think there's going to be 6 Lego Minecraft sets coming later this year. This is one of the sets here, the set number 21107, Microworld: The End. So if you're a Minecraft fan and a Lego fan, or one or the other, this set is coming soon, The End. That's what it looks like, and I've got the link for you in the video's description. I sent him a higher quality resolution of the image he captured off the Lego calendar for June 2014. Another thing on that calendar, I noted that on the 1st of June, in a month's time, the only Lego Ghostbusters set is going to be released. Cannot wait. If only for the minifigures. I'm a minifigure fan. If you've been looking for a way to save images, the best images from your videos on, say, iOS, Voto may be up your alley. It's free. VHOTO. I haven't tried it yet, but I saw it making the rounds today. Might be worth checking out. Load a video in, record a video, and it'll pull out the best images from there, which could save you time. Instead of having to scan and scrub to make sure you don't have any blur, good faces, and everything, it'll automate that process for you. It'll make it easier. And isn't that what an app should do? Make your life easier. Otherwise, what are you doing with the app? If it's not making your life easier, if it's making it more difficult, what? I don't want to be difficult, but there are probably times when your battery on your iPhone dies. So, Phone Suit sent me this, the Phone Suit Elite battery case. This is for the iPhone 5 or 5S. It's a high-capacity battery, 2100 milliamp hours. It's got wide access to the audio jack, which is nice. Quick charge, 5-watt technology, very nice as well. Should charge your phone quicker. Premium metallic accents, nice. Doubles your iPhone's power, great. Here it is. It's kind of like a pseudo unboxing. I'm taking it out of the box. Look at it. Double your performance. Double your pleasure. Only one disappointment for this. It is a micro USB cable. I wish they had lightning battery cases available for the iPhone. Seems pretty sleek, slim. Right there's the lightning adapter for the inside, but unfortunately micro USB on the bottom. I don't mind micro USB for what it is. What I have a problem with micro USB because it's not reversible, and lightning is, and I like reversible cables. So we're gonna go ahead and slide this one off. I don't know how I'm doing on battery life. Ooh, 87%. Because I was down to 20% not long before the show started, and my Mophie Space Pack saved the day. And I think I probably killed the battery on that. Yeah, no battery lights on that, so I likely drained that one anyway. Let's go ahead and slide in the Phone Suit. Okay, feels just as bulky, which isn't bad. It's just as bulky as the other Space Pack. See here. Ooh, I like the LEDs. Blue LEDs on the back. Love that. All right, seeing what else. Oh, yes, it's definitely better access to the audio jack at the bottom. Sorry, I realize it's dark, so let me try to angle it the right way. And then there's a speaker on one side there. And there's your port for the USB. Access to the power connector. Access on the side to the volume rocker. Or, I'm sorry, the volume button's no longer a rocker. And the power switch. Or, I'm sorry, the orientation and or volume switch. I think I like, between the two, the feel, honestly, I'm going to have to give this one to the Mophie. If only because there's a lip up top that when you drop the, if I've dropped the phone and I drop it flat, there's a chance that it can be saved with the Mophie Space Pack versus the Phone Suit. They feel about as heavy. I would say the curves on the Space Pack are definitely a bit more curvy than that on the Phone Suit. Not that it's bad. Having an extra case that has a battery incorporated, I think is great, especially if you happen to be someone who gets around and who doesn't necessarily have yourself tethered to any kind of power device at any point in time. So these things are very valuable. The only, like I said, the only thing I wish that existed was a lightning pass-through, because Not a fan of micro USB because it's not reversible. So there you go. There's another product view to make all you geeks happy. How come you never talk about... I'm sorry, I'm being a random complainer who's obviously not watching deep into this video. They saw Star Wars at the beginning. They said, that's it, I'm out! Okay, so Tails, an OS, like a Linux OS that Snowden used, is now out of beta. So if you've been looking for an OS and you're afraid of people spying on you, Tails may be for you. I don't use it. I've never used it before. It's just interesting to know. It's open source and Linuxy and all that. We have just recently celebrated the 50th anniversary of BASIC. And Harry McCracken, one of my favorite tech journalists of all time, I love this guy. He posted a series of animated GIFs to help celebrate the fact that we've now just passed the 50th anniversary, including, let's see if I can get this to rotate cleanly. Oh, I can't zoom. I grew up on the Commodore 64, so let's see if I can angle it. There we go. He wrote a single line of BASIC code, and then watch what happens. Now, cool. I love that. I would have memorized that line of code if I was a kid. You can get a C64 emulator, though, on iOS. I almost said the iOS. On the iPhone, or on the iPad. I don't know if, I think kids these days, they've got different options, right? They've got Arduino and Raspberry Pi and certainly Linux and a lot of options to explore. But it wasn't the same as it was back in the day. You didn't have a lot of options, right? So you had to go with what was there. You couldn't download things necessarily. You had to re-enter them. You would get a magazine, a computer programming magazine, and you would re-enter every line of code. And inevitably, when someone replaced an O with a 0, you were screwed. And it was impossible to fix typos if you didn't really know what you were doing other than just regurgitating code. But there was something to be said about growing up on BASIC. I enjoyed BASIC programming. It wasn't easy for me, but for the most part, if I knew my way around a function, I could make it do certain things that not everybody would necessarily be able to do, and it was fun. I remember writing Mad Libs programs. Used to love Mad Libs. Used to love those things. I still do, I guess. I'm a big fan of puzzles, too. Any kind of riddles. Love anything that gets you to think. But yeah, BASIC was my first, really probably only programming language that I ever got into. And then after that, programming was certainly interesting, but it definitely got more complex. And I just didn't have the mindset for creating and evolving code in that fashion. And I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting time to be alive, and I don't think I would trade that for anything either. I wouldn't have changed the path. Even if I knew how this industry evolved, I don't think I would have made any decisions differently in terms of what I decided to do with my time. Because honestly, I mean, I'm here. I survived. I pulled through. Thanks to the patrons, I'm thriving. I'm able to do this type of video for you every day, talk about news headlines, show you products that I get, and all sorts of goodness. But it was an interesting time. If you guys want to know what it was like to grow up that way, yeah, try downloading some kind of program where you can program in BASIC, and it is exceedingly simple to program. If I did it, it was simple. It was very, very simple. This, however, is not very simple. It is a smartphone robot called Romo. And I forgot I had this thing. I apologize for that. But I will unbox it for you in tomorrow's live TLDR. Your best new friend, potentially, according to the box. So I'm going to try Romo tomorrow, right here, live on YouTube, as this video was live on YouTube as well. So you have something to look forward to there, of course, covering all the headlines. If you guys, see something that's interesting, you could tag me on social. I may or may not see it in social, though. But if you email me, chris@pirillo.com, I'll see it. I see all the Patreon, or the submissions that come through the patrons on patreon.com. Don't keep it to yourself. I may have seen the headline before. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, granted, if you tell me about something that I've been talking about for the past month, I may respond and say I've been talking about it for the past month. Like, for example, people keep telling me, hey, did you know that the Lego Simpson or the Simpsons show on Sunday is going to be done in Lego? Yes, I did. Because I've been talking about it ever since, they first announced it. Man, sorry, my nose itches. It's not my mustache. I think I need to trim my nose hairs. I had a dream about that last night. I had a dream like beards were a fad, like a trend. I'm not going to grow a beard, but I am going to continue to grow this mustache until the day that people stop talking about it. So the day that I don't get a single comment about my mustache is the day I shave it. Well, I mean, why take it away? People are, at least you're commenting about something. It may not be relevant to anything, but hey, if your whole world revolves around what I have on my lip, okay, it's a comment. I'll take one comment over none. Seriously, my mustache has compelled people to just write comments. I'd like to believe that other things that I do are much more comment-worthy. So I did not have to get out of the chair to answer the door today. I'm very grateful I didn't have to because that would have been awkward. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. As I said, I got the links in this video description. In about a half hour, I'm going to record the other video that will also be in this channel, but visible only for patrons, talking about what I would do if I was a musician. You might be a musician. You may know of a musician. You may want to be a musician. I kind of wish I was a musician, but I'll get into that in that separate video. Thanks for your support. Thanks for remembering to like, share, comment, subscribe, watch more of our videos right now if you watched this far, and then be sure you click the little, on the YouTube page, you got to go to a youtube.com page with one of my videos on it, and there's a little gear icon next to a subscribed button. Not the gear icon in the video embed. Gear icon next to the subscribed button. You click that gear icon on this next to the subscribe button, a little dialog pops up, and it says, hey, if you want to subscribe to updates, put a check mark in this box to subscribe to updates. And you should do that, because then you'll get an email notifying you when we upload a new video. Granted, we send out a push notification to everybody who uses the free Locker Gnome app for iOS and Android, but let me see here. Give me a second, because someone retweeted this earlier today, and I think I can pull it up quickly. Barnacles Nerdgasm retweeted this, because he was, okay, I won't have the ability to pull it in then. Okay, I guess that's not going to work. He's coming over this weekend. We're getting together again to do another live stream. And so if you want to join us, you can. We'll be taking questions from the community live on YouTube this Saturday. He'll be over here one more time. And in the process of him being over here, we're also going to be, hanging out with other YouTubers in the area and likely vlogging them as well. Here is what he had tweeted, by the way. See how you change subscription preferences? He even used me as an example. Send me updates. Bam. Look at that. He even pointed out. Bam. Send me updates. That's what you want to do. Do it right now. So thank you, Jerry, for that. If you want priority questions answered with that broadcast, all you got to do is become a patron. And then we'll open up that thread come Saturday. Thanks again, folks. I'm going to leave you to your own devices. We'll see you later.